Welcome back. We're now module 4, funding. Now, the funding process for innovation is different from your regular business startups or whatever. It doesn't work like startups, and there's a good reason for that. There's no cash flow to compare against anyone else. When you build a cash flow projection, you have no value metric to put against it. You also will find the accountants can't value your thing other than cost for your patent and the likes. They can't go forward and give it a value because nothing will stand up. We show you how to do that, and we take away the return on investment as the most critical judgment, and we turn it into where it needs to go, because the other side of the patents is the patent value is zero if you don't have any sales, but more importantly, it becomes a liability because you know that in 12 months' time, from the time you took the provisional patent, you're going to have to come up with 5-6 figures to make sure you can sustain that patent. Now, investors are key, and they're not going to look for return on investment. They're looking for risk reduction. So if you're understanding that investors don't go for return on investment in early stage commercialization, then you're a step ahead of everyone else, and we'll show you how that works. They're not likely, if you're trolling for people with a lot of cash, chances are they've got better options and they're not going to come to you. And even if they've got excited about your project, I can tell you what will happen. The people that they would have people who advise them on different things, from financial planners, financial advisors, accountants, solicitors, you name it. And all of those are going to talk them out of it because you run too much risk for an unknown. They've seen what your project can do, and they're all excited about it, but the people around them haven't, and they won't get excited at all. So you're more likely to get funding from somebody within the industry or the market. And that's important, because if you do this right, we're going to find you somebody who can bring more to the table than just cash. They may have an established channel into your market, and that's primarily the first leverage that I look for. An established channel gives you reciprocal trade. You might have their clients, they might have your clients, and you can sell to each other, cross-sell, and can recover all your risk capital. So you can imagine if your client or your prospect can ask himself, how much less risk would I have if I have 1 million buyers for that particular technology? And that can happen. Now, there's also the opportunity for sharing tax concessions. They could apply for grants, and for every dollar they put in, they get matched by $1 from the government, from whichever government in whichever jurisdiction you're in. And they could become the party that completes the R&D simply by not paying you equity, but rather paying the bills as and when they fall due as part of the partnership, a collaborative research partnership. They're doing part of the work, and therefore they're getting the grants. They can apply for the grant and cover off. And it's usually, some countries it's 43 cents, others it's 50 cents in the dollar. So if you've thought return on investment is the most important thing, it's actually not. Now, we've done research on this. I tackled this in 2015 globally in 4 countries, and we found it is the number 6 criteria. So that if you just stop for a moment and think, there are 5 more important reasons why people jump into intellectual property as an investment. And the number 1 is leverages. And I've talked about the established channels as a leverage. That's one of the leverages. Now, that we use 14 leverages when we measure across an industry opportunity. And we use these to mitigate the risk for the investor partners by taking their investment amount down to 0, by saying we've offset this by that much. We're going to get 50% grants to double it, and that will reduce your risk by this. We're going to get you R&D tax concessions back. We're going to allow you to sell exclusively for 12 months into your market, and that'll give you, we expect you'll get this many sales, and all of that is within your control, and all of it will mitigate your risk to nothing. And that's the important thing when we're doing a pitch for people. So the decision criteria for most prospective investors, in particular for IP, is not return on investment. If I give you them in reverse order, the reason why I'm going to handle the top 6, because number 6 was actually return on investment. So let's leave the other 4 out to get you a top 10 and just focus on the next 5. So We acknowledge our ROI, return on investment, is number 6, and number 5 is novelty and protection. People don't want to invest in the same old, same old. They don't want to be a me too. If they're going to get excited about something, it's because it's got novelty and you've got the capability of protecting that novelty and owning it. The next is number 4 is the exit plan. They won't get in if they can't get out. You need to have an exit lined up for everybody. And number 3 is risk management. They need to know that you know what the risks are and you've got plans to mitigate those risks or address them. The risks mostly are beyond your control in most circumstances, but you need to show that you've researched them, you understand them, because they fully understand them. They're from the industry or from the market. They already know what the risks are. So you're going in there telling them what they already know, but that's reinforcing to them that you know what it is that you're facing because they already know and they want to make sure that you do. And number 2 is the commercial model. We talked about the commercial model and how we build that. That's the most important thing. Second most important thing for this. And they want to know that you've got a full plan and you can show them the mind map. There it is. It's better than a business plan. A business plan is the greatest thing at gathering dust on shelves. A wall map, mind map on a wall shows everybody and it's highlighted and it's coloured. It's you attacked it with a Sharpie and crossed out things and added things and circled things. It's all a live document as it goes at one glance. But the number 1 reason is leverages. I've talked about 1 or 2 leverages. Reciprocal trade is one where we talk about looking for somebody who actually has a channel into your market. That's going to mean that they already have the customers, but they already can sell to the customers, and it's going to cost nothing for them to add your fries to their burger. So they can go back to their existing clients and say, you bought this before, how would you like to buy that? In a case like our shed, David with his sheds, he's able to go back to people and say, you've got 28% on industry standards, 28% of the quotes you didn't get. And the reason why is because most of them didn't go and buy elsewhere. They didn't buy at all. And the reason for that is because of that 50% or 60% extra that it costs to install it that they didn't cater for. Couldn't afford it, they left it. Well, guess what? If you go back, if you get all of those out on the table and give them to me, I might be able to go and get you 50% of those and turn them into customers. Would you like us to do that? Absolutely, they would. So that's how it works. That's how he would get customers piece by piece. Pretty soon, once one shed seller starts marketing this, he's going to be 50% cheaper than anyone else or 30% cheaper. So what's going to happen to the industry? They're all going to gravitate to it. So leverages is a very important accelerator. So that's this module in terms of decision criteria for prospective investors and how we get using our cornerstone investor model with our 12-point pitch, which I didn't talk about, how we get prospective investors on board. The next module is going to qualify your project readiness. That's pretty much making sure that for all of this, we'll bring it all together and say, are you ready? And then you can start making decisions about what you've got or whether you need to tidy up some things along the way. And we'll give you a free opportunity to grab a free report that will actually help you do that. So I look forward to you on the bonus module.